This is the Washington Times front page for Wednesday, December 20th, 2023. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. A divided Colorado Supreme Court has declared former President Trump ineligible for the White House and removed him from the state's presidential primary ballot. Alex Sawyer reports the 4-3 decision is the first major ruling to go against Trump under the U.S. Constitution's insurrection clause. It sets up a showdown at the Supreme Court to decide whether the GOP frontrunner can remain in the race. The Colorado justices acknowledged they were breaking new legal ground, but they said their reading of the Constitution indicates Trump was part of an insurrection that saw a mob of his supporters attack the U.S. Capitol and delay counting of Electoral College votes on January 6, 2021. A Senate report says the federal government's terrorist watch list has ballooned to at least 1.8 million records, up from 150,000 2 decades ago. Stephen Dinan reports the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee urged federal inspectors general to fully review the watch list to evaluate who gets listed and whether it's warranted. The committee also said federal officials must fix the redress process that allows people to challenge their listings. The FBI maintains the watch list, and more than 500 entities have access to some of the data. A subset of the watch list, the no-fly list, is used to bar some people from boarding planes with destinations in the United States. The Congressional Budget Office says Democrats' leading proposal to increase the federal minimum wage to $17 an hour would deliver pay raises to millions of workers, but would also cause a loss of about 700,000 jobs. Stephen Dinan reports the bill, sponsored by Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders and backed by a majority of Senate Democrats, would raise the wage over 5 years, starting with a $9.50 hourly rate next year and ticking up to $17 in 2029. CBO looked at the situation in 2029 when the $17 per hour figure would be fully in place and said the proposal would raise wages for 9.7 million Americans. Still, the Budget Office says 700,000 people who would have jobs under the current $7.25 an hour rate would no longer be working under the higher minimum wage. A newly declassified intelligence community report has found that China, Russia, and Iran all sought to meddle in the 2022 U.S. elections. Ryan Lovelace reports the Office of the Director of National Intelligence published the intelligence community's assessment. It found China targeted Congress, Iran boosted progressive causes and candidates, and Russia sought to agitate conservatives ahead of the November 2022 elections using covert manipulation operations and hidden online influence efforts to misinform and try to sway voters. Although the intelligence community said it witnessed a slew of foreign information manipulation tactics, it emphasized it didn't see efforts to breach American election infrastructure. And finally, a new witness in the House impeachment inquiry claims President Biden profited from his brother James's business deals. Susan Ferricchio reports that witness claims the source of a $200,000 check that James Biden paid to his brother in March 2018 could have come only from predatory loans or fraudulently invested money by James Biden's business partner, Michael Lewitt. The House voted to formalize the impeachment investigation into the president this month and subpoenaed James Biden to appear in December for a closed-door deposition. The two sides are still negotiating a date for him to testify. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in any major podcast app. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.